I'm alive.
Hey, we're all alive.
I don't know
Just
how I don't know how much of a crowd we're going to draw tonight because the normal art crowd
uh
is going to be watching David Finch. He's streaming tonight at 9.
All right.
And
Well,
he's streaming with Joe Benitez, who does Lady Mechanica and did a lot of image books,
all right. Very cool.
especially early, like he did. Uh, why can't I think of the name? Witchblade.
All right.
Um, I think Darkness for a little bit.
Very cool.
So yeah, he's going to be doing some artwork with David, but they're all big name comic book people, so they're going to draw the crowd.
Right. True. True.
And I don't know if they're going to show up here or not. I know that I just posted 2 time lapse of the pencil drawings for Cthulhu.
Right on.
And already they've had, like, one of them had 6 or 7 hits, the other one had 6 or 7 hits. And that was like within maybe an hour.
All right. Very groovy.
So no new memberships, but
Well,
subscribers.
you forgot to add the yet at the end of that.
That's probably true.
Keep it. Yeah. What's that word? Yeah. Keep it positive, man.
When Brett co-hosted with me Saturday, we actually
All right.
had a turnout. I didn't think I was gonna have a turnout because normally, if you're not involved, there's not the turnout that there normally is. So I guess anybody other than me that's gonna talk is gonna draw a crowd.
Right. Hey, they're saying something.
Right. Now, Mark might stop by like usual when we're about ready to be done.
Right.
Dan might pop on because Dan usually does.
All right. Sounds groovy.
Hey,
So what are we doing tonight?
What?
What am I doing today? Let's see. So I'm gonna do some. I blocked in a little bit on the hair last time. I did the light on the sides of their faces, and
Oh yeah, I've noticed.
I put some cool colors in him so that it evened out his face. I'm noticing that my angle is off on the chin because when I painted the brown back there, I painted too close.
Right on.
She's got a piece of hair that's coming across here, so you
All
can't really see the edge of her jaw. The reference picture I've got has a light glare coming right across here, so that's why I got no information on
Yeah, you were telling me about that. That's right.
So I figured I'd do another coat. Like I've been spraying this for the last couple of days, so I don't know how well it kept up, but I hope it did because I hate to have to start all over again.
Right on.
Well, I guess that picked up pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not going to worry about her jaw really until after I get her hair done because I'm probably just going to pull her hair across that stuff.
Right on.
Probably going to be the same thing with the ear too. What?
I wouldn't have noticed anything if you didn't say something about it. So.
Wouldn't have noticed anything about what?
About her jaw.
Well, nobody would because I didn't show anybody really the reference picture.
Right, exactly. We're our own worst critics, man.
But in this case, trying to help other people keep their confidence when they have mishaps like this, you know. And it's not really a mishap because the pictures that I worked with didn't have a very good, like I said, that spot's all gone to glare. There's like a beam of sunlight that's cutting across right here.
Right on.
That's can't do anything about that with the reference photo. There is 2 reference photos, but I didn't pull up the other one. I did for Jessie's ear. I should have pulled it up for her, I guess, but I was trying to get the tones of her face right.
Right on.
Music, that's right. But before I start the music, you guys can talk if you want.
I'm talking, man.
Plural.
Oh. You are all 7 of us?
Oh.
Oh yeah, everybody. Like, just jump right in anywhere. Don't talk over each other though.
That happened.
Don't interrupt. Talking.
Yeah.
Just pop right in anywhere, but don't talk over anybody.
Yeah.
No, that's when you scream.
Yeah, scream. Oh, that's the exact song.
Arguments are won.
You roboted. I didn't hear what you said. Brett.
Yeah.
You said something. I didn't hear what you said because you roboted.
I said that
That's the second time I didn't hear what you said. Maybe I'll just quit while I'm ahead. No.
I said civilized arguments are won by yelling.
Hey, there you
How
go.
we do it?
You are
Now I
absolutely
heard you. Oh yeah, nowadays they believe that if you yell, you're right. If you yell louder, you're right. You're correct. Not right. Correct.
I don't know. I've always been a loud motherfucker, and I have been right, especially if I'm fighting with him. You know, like, yeah, I don't care how.
You're never right if you're fighting with a female.
No, hell no. They know where you live.
When I argue
There
with
was,
Amanda, I got this agreement that I know that I'm wrong until she says that I'm right.
Reverse
There was a swim meet that
Yeah, for myself.
I was at, and I'm trying to get my boys' attention, and they weren't looking at their phones, or they were looking at their phones, they weren't responding.
Right.
And we're up in the bleachers, far, like on the opposite side of the pool. If you've ever been at a pool meet or a swim meet, they're loud. So I yelled my son's name, and the entire place just got dead silent. Dead silent.
Oh yeah. There you go.
And my son just looks down like, that's not my father. That's not my father.
Well, my kids do that all the time. Every time they went to a concert, or every time they had a concert, I went to the concert. And when they start singing, I'd be like standing up going, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's fun to make you feel.
To be fair, if my child had responded on his phone,
Oh, yeah.
I would not have had to yell his name.
Right on.
And he should know his father has a very loud voice when he wants it.
Yeah, you should know his father by now, right?
You'd think.
That's,
I've been around
that's
this whole
what I
life.
say. Like to all my kids, but especially to Eli, because he'll go, "Stop, Dad," and I'm like, it's like you don't even know me.
Right.
Amanda's all like, "Good luck with that." Stop? What is this stop you speak of?
Right?
He likes to tell me to stop sneezing, and I'm like, I can't. There's no stopping sneezing.
No.
And he's of a dual mind with it too, because every time he hears a sneeze, it cracks him right up. Like he laughs his ass off every time somebody sneezes.
Right on.
But then he'll hear me sneezing or whatever, try to say stop, and I'm like, you can't stop.
Right. You stop a sneeze, you blow your flying out your ears.
Like I've said that mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, uncle so many times where I'll just start at mother. I'll just go mother, and then he'll try to run off the rest, but he'll run it off out of order.
So, yeah.
And I'd be like, "Are you motherless?" And then he'll say, "Son of a goat." Like, you don't think he's got my shit memorized by now?
No.
And then he says something like, "Stop." Yeah, that's got, you know. I think I need to put a little bit of gray in her eyes. But I don't have that blue eye. I just made it tons uglier by doing a layer of that.
Oh, all right.
They just did the entirety of the Cthulhu painting in one FedEx video,
All right.
but he didn't take out the countdown.
Oh, shit.
So he's gonna go back and cut out the countdowns, and he's like, "And your cousin's in all of them too." And I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of knew that was going to be the case."
Right on.
And he's like, "Well, I might be able to find something that I can trim that edge out," because he's just wanting to show the just the painting process on the sped up part. Because other than that, you just look animated very quickly.
Right.
Nobody understands you. Nobody hears what you're saying, but it's quick animation.
They can see you moving.
Okay, so
What color are we using today, Rich?
Well, as soon as I get the brush out of my mouth, I'm using the same colors that I used last time.
What did we do last time?
I put a little bit of cerulean blue in because that's the color of her eyes.
Right on.
But I need to grade them down a little bit because they're not as bright in the picture, and it kind of looks cartoony how bright they are.
All right. Yeah.
So I want to grade them out.
I got you, man. All right.
It's there's this, this color theory that colors are having a conversation,
All right.
like how they respond and how you work with one color and another color.
Okay.
And if you've got a bunch of loud color, it's like you're being in a room with everybody yelling.
All right.
So the bright red is yelling, "Look here," and the bright blue is yelling, "Look here." Well, the way you calm that down is to gray it out, because that's the middle, the neutral.
Right.
So if you put a little bit of gray in that color, it will slowly
Bring it
calm
down.
that color down.
Yeah. I got you. I'm picking up with you. I laying down. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to weigh it down all over again.
And then the pretty
Dog's
good.
interested.
What's up?
The dog. He's
Oh,
interested.
what's up, dog?
I don't think I've seen your dog.
Yeah, this is
You must run to do that for a second.
her name is Biscuit.
Oh, don't see anybody now.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
There you go. Yay! That's a pretty dog, man.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we got the dog for the boys. So she's
Oh.
mine.
Yep. That's about the same here, man. I moved in here and their dog turned into my dog. Don't know how it happened, but you know. So,
Because dogs notice who feeds them, who pays attention to them, who pets them, who lets them out. Same thing with cats. You know?
she's a little dainty ass dog, but she kicks me out of bed, man. It's like as soon as I move, bam, she's right there. I moved off my pillow for a second before I have to lay a all eagle on my pillow. What you got, look?
I mixed up that grayish into that blue,
Right?
and it was the same friggin' color that I was trying to cover. So didn't quite make what I was trying to make. I'm gonna darken it up a little bit for the top.
It's good. That was your all's day, man.
You see your eyes better?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard for me to see what you guys can see.
right on. Nobody in chat.
Yeah, like I said, I don't expect a really lively night because most of the
Right on.
most of the people that came from the Discord server are going to be watching for him or watching him tonight. I told them they could stop by. I got one guy that messaged me, but he messaged me because somebody took what he said wrong in the chat room. But that's because he's very verbose and sounds condescending sometimes, looks condescending sometimes.
You're right.
You know, that's the problem with writing online and communication like that is that
You don't hear the inflections in the voice.
right, you can put whatever inflections in that you want.
Right.
So if they're looking to get some or find some offense in what it is or whatever, especially if, you know, if somebody calls them on something and they don't like being called on it. I checked, but that was like just about the time that we were starting the show, and I'm like,
Right.
stay here and deal with this stupid shit, or come back to my show.
On with the show.
You can see what decision I made.
Why, yes. Yes, I can. Watch this. Zephyr water from the clear zephyrs of Zephyr Hill.
I was thinking, Brett, I don't know if I said it last time on Saturday, but when you left Thursday,
Yeah.
that's when I was doing the teeth. You're like, I want to see you do the teeth. I'm like, Brett just left and I'm doing the teeth.
Yeah, good. Man, speaking of teeth, yay! Say hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm a dork. I'm sorry.
So, for my helmet reference, I was showing Brett. I didn't get to show you because I haven't really seen it. I got these pictures of Viking babies.
Yeah.
They're cracking me up. So I'm like, that's a good helmet reference, though. So I'm gonna
Right?
play with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, Steve managed to cut his wrist open. He's the idiot.
I think he said something about that last time we talked. Because then you were all like, well, he wasn't trying to split his wrist.
It just happened.
Another time?
Recently, it just happened like 4 days ago.
Yeah, I think he told me.
Oh yeah. He was spinning his knife around, and he's like, "Oh, I was doing it so good at work. Then I got home, and I got drunk, and I did it
I was
again,
doing it so good at work.
and I slipped my wrist." And I'm like, "Did you go to the hospital?" No. All right. Man. He went the next day, and they couldn't give him stitches. They said, "If you would have came in yesterday, we couldn't get you stitches." Watch anything interesting or read a good book? Anyone?
Me or Brett?
Either or. It's just
Didn't
one
I
question.
show you? I did a review of
Oh,
John
yeah,
Wick.
John Wick 4?
Oh yeah. You did not like that movie.
No.
Yeah. If I was looking at it like it was, I guess if I was going into it looking at it like it was Dungeons and Dragons, or Dungeons and Shotguns, then I might have felt different. Then I might have felt different about it, but yeah, it was just, I don't know, just not believable, you know? Really hard for me to go, especially being a gun guy and knowing that Keanu Reeves is a gun guy, for me to accept that he shoots a guy 5 times in the chest, walking up his chest with the shot to his head, and then that dude's gonna swing and fight on with him. Like, no. If you get shot 4 times and you don't even get the headshot, you're going down. If you get shot 4 times point blank with a bulletproof vest, you're gonna fall down because it's gonna hurt.
It's a movie.
And then he had that magic bulletproof jacket, like it was a really, really flimsy jacket because he picks it up to block his head and it's just swaying in the breeze. You know, if you shot that, even if it's bulletproof, the velocity of the bullet's going to smack you right in the armpit.
I get all that. I just, you know,
it's really hard to suspend my disbelief when I know that it's so much bullshit.
He's Neo, man. Okay.
Well, yeah, but it's not supposed to be. I guess maybe it is supposed to be, and I just am dumb enough to not realize it.
He had plot armor on. It's like the strongest armor that's possible. He has to survive, therefore he did.
Yeah, man.
He was hung, shot, hit by 2 cars.
Hey, man. In the Matrix, you can do all kinds of shit. I seriously think them 2 characters are intertwined, dude.
And then he's going up against Donnie Yen for the duel. Alright, Red, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Alright, so Joe's either going to watch it or not, no matter what I say. So
Right.
I have faith in not ruining it for him. But and then the final duels with powder pistols. You know what a powder pistol is?
No, can't say I do.
A powder pistol is what they use to shoot fucking elephants and tigers. Like when you're on a safari and you're riding in the elephant basket, if a tiger should jump on that elephant, you shoot it with a powder pistol. Because that powder pistol is a shotgun and a pistol.
Wow.
And they dueled with them, and you know they shot each other 3 times with them. And oh boy. Yeah, that to me. Okay, so like I was saying in my review, it kind of felt like a side-scrolling game. You know what I mean? Like the old games where you had to have your timing just right. Right. Yeah. Shoot, jump, duck, shoot, jump, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's really what it felt like to me. So I don't want to give the idea that I absolutely hated it. I'm glad that I didn't buy it because my expectations would have been sorely hurt. But like, if I would have looked at it like, oh, I was, watching a video game or whatever, I probably would have been happy with it.
Just like it did in the game.
But it just didn't work for me because of all the stuff that I know, and because I know that Keanu trained with the 3-gun training since the first one. Plus, he did like 30 scissor kicks and rolled people down in a tight, confined space when 50 people are coming after him. Instead of just shooting them in the kneecap as they're getting close and then blowing them in the head, he fucking comes up, jumps up, does the scissor kicks, rolls them down and shoots them in the head. Like, all right, he's 60. He's not doing that shit. He's not doing 30 scissor kicks. He's not a fucking lucha. So, I mean, being literal when I say it stepped outside of the realm of reality. Like, as Neo, that's different because he's not going to get tired because he's not actually doing anything. It's just his brain. You can accept that because his physical body is not being literally hung 4 times in a row or lifted out of a chair by a noose. And he's not kicked off a mezzanine that's 2 stories high to land flat on his face,
Have you watched all the other John Wick movies?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And and it got progressively worse. The first one I could suspend my disbelief for. The
Or
second
it got
one,
progressively better.
Yeah.
not really. Progressively better at what?
Entertainment value.
Yeah, not for me.
It's a movie, man. Enjoy it.
I thought the last one was a little long.
It was very long. Yeah,
Like it's a slog because it is just a lot of fighting and
yeah. It's just one long fight scene with a couple of changes up where the locations were that they were going to fight, or
Yes.
they had to stop to give him a different bulletproof coat.
yeah.
I love the fucking Tokyo drifting around the circle and shooting all the guys, not missing one. And that really super heavy duty badass gun that's really just a 9mm. Like, it's got a fluted barrel to limit muzzle flip. Well, actually, a fluted barrel means there's less weight on the end of the barrel, which would create more muzzle flip. And it made a big deal out of it being a flared mag well. That's just a mag well that's got a little bit bigger of a circle to slam the magazine in. No big deal. If he's a hitman that's been practicing for so long that he's a Baba Yaga, which, how many fucking Baba Yagas can there be? There's so many. Like, there's not a single. All right, Brett. Here's my suspension of disbelief problem in one scene. They're fucking fighting through a rave, and not a single person turns at the gunshot. But when he kills the guy at the end of that scene, everybody turns and yells and screams and runs away. They're literally shooting and missing people and not hitting people that are tightly packed, just bouncing around next to them. It's just complete bullshit. There's no fucking way that those missed bullets weren't going to bounce and hit somebody. Or there was like 4,000 people jammed together in a fucking crosswalk balcony. Yeah, that was just utter bullshit. And nobody was even turning their heads at, like, they're running through there shooting, and nobody's even turning and going, somebody's shooting. They're like, oh yeah.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're in a huge gunfight in the Arc de Toronto, and not one siren. Not one cop. And how many times can Donnie Yen play a blind swordsman?
Yeah.
Well, that's actually what Donnie Yen said he was hoping that he can expand on that character. Did you watch all the way through, like, till after the credits?
Yeah.
Okay. So that would mean certain things didn't happen then that had appeared to happen. Or not appeared to, but you were given the indication it was happening.
Right.
That's like, yeah, I don't know if I want to give the end away, but just before the credits, the last scene with Ian. Is it Ian? No. What's his name? Yeah, it is Ian, right? The guy that played in Deadwood and
Yeah.
yeah, when that last scene, you think that something happened because of the way the scene is set up and what you're seeing in the scene, but you didn't actually see that happen, so that could not have actually happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting to talk about it with somebody who's seen it, and not actually say the words and have them know what you're saying. I printed the pictures out for the other painting. So I got a picture of you, the drawing of you, Joe, that's darker now.
Oh, all right.
I'm trying to bring up the reference pictures for the helmet, so I can actually maybe even share them, but I don't think I'm going to right now. I need to try to do something like that to share screen to make sure I get the stuff down, but
Let's start dancing. Boo.
wow, the music's skipping all around. Do you hear that, or is it just me?
What?
What the music's doing?
Different song.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like it's skipping. It's like
Oh.
now it's regular, but for a minute there it wasn't at all.
Yeah, so earlier I was at the ER because I had to take my wife because she fell yesterday and like her hand went and touched, like her fingers touched the part of her arm.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's what?
Well,
Ooh.
imagine being able to touch your own forearm with your fingers. That's what she did.
Then yeah.
And she could move her hand and everything, so we decided to wait till a day. Like she fell yesterday, we said so.
Did you break anything?
Apparently not. Like it's sprained, it's still numb and tingly, which is why I was like, "Well, if it's still numb and tingly, you should go get an X-ray."
Right.
But
Well, that's good news.
she had just been there a few weeks ago because she was scraping the wall because they put all this liquid nail stuff behind the
I have
panel.
to punch myself, right?
Oh shit.
Yeah, she punched herself and broke her nose.
Oh
Of
damn.
course,
She broke the nose?
And it was like, they're signing her in. And like, what are you here for? I was like, she said, fell, hurt my hand. And they're like, you were just here a few weeks ago because you broke your nose. And like,
That's gonna look good for you, right?
yeah, I was like, I swear I was not anywhere near her for both of these.
You could be honest. There's people you can talk to.
Yeah. Oh, they had,
I won't have to tell her again.
there's a form that was attached about abuse. I was like, oh my God.
Wow. Yeah, it's like that, though. That's the first place they want to point fingers. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh,
Yeah.
She's clumsy, really.
There was one time before
Don't
my
make me make you fall down the stairs.
we were in Ohio, and we were at a 4th of July party, and I thank God her brother was staying in our house because we were upstairs, her brother was downstairs, and Rhonda ran down, she had to go throw up. And when she lifted the toilet seat up, she put her head right into it, gave herself a black eye.
Did she need
next
another
morning-
pair of glasses?
Well, she was drunk, and she had been in bed. She jumped up to go curl.
Well, there's that.
So the next morning, we're there, and she's got this prominent black eye. And her brother's like, what happened? And I was like, damn it, you heard her run down the stairs. And he's like, and why? I was like, he's like, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was drunk one time and swinging nunchucks around. I laid them like at a full force swing because I was swinging them around my hand.
Yeah.
I laid them at a 90-degree angle across the bridge of my nose, right between my eyes.
Oh.
So it was like whack, right between my eyes, across the bridge of my nose, top of my forehead. Like, yeah, you know, the first thing that I should have thought of was, you're sitting down, you shouldn't try to do a nunchuck.
Right.
Second thing I should have thought of was, you're in the middle of drinking, why are you fucking around with nunchucks?
Exactly.
Right. Well, it does run in the family. You nunchucks, Steven knife. Yeah.
It's crazy.
She's like, I slit my wrist, but it's not what you think. Okay. Getting a little depressed there, buddy? Is that a cry for help to you?
I'm going to give you a phone number.
Yeah. 24 hours a day. There'll be someone listening. If they can. You should have known better than pick up that knife and spin it around after you've been drunk. You don't just get drunk. You get fucking sloppy. I can just see it. And it bears things the blood and everything. You're lucky you don't bleed out. Is that Satan?
Yeah.
I gotta put the dog out. I'll be back.
All right.
You can understand that one, huh?
Yeah.
So, what you been up to? Because I haven't really been able to catch a hold of you.
And I've been busy. I'm coming home from work. If I work like mornings, I'm coming home and I'm not out.
I can't hear you. You're talking too low, and Amanda's talking, so I can't.
I said, I come home and like working mornings. I come home and I'll like pass out the chair for a little bit. Then I wake up. But if I work nights, then I want to sleep. Crazy. In pussy. In pussy. So what you been up to, man?
Oh, we went to Hampton Beach.
Very cool.
There's sand sculptures there that Amanda wanted to check out. I don't know if she's posted pictures on Facebook yet or not.
No.
That was yesterday. So I
Well,
walked around there instead of walking around Walmart and the normal places I walk.
well,
And then today I went and walked bike path in Brunswick, which is one of the places I do like to walk, but the weather hasn't been really great for walking. It's been rainy and cold, or chilly,
Right. You
or
look at
rainy
the
and
bike?
70 or 60 or whatever.
Right.
Huh?
Did you check out that? Go look at the bike.
I did,
Mm-hmm.
but I really don't have money for that right now anyway. But
All right.
I looked at it. The other one that I was looking at, it was comparable really to what you're doing.
All
It
right.
wasn't. It wasn't 69 miles an hour. It was 69 miles. But the way that they had presented it, it was
Yeah.
30/69.
Yeah. They always do
Not
that.
not 30 like side slash. It was like 30-69, like 32/69.
Right.
There is one that does that. There's actually a couple, but the prices on them, you might as well be buying a car. So
Oh yeah. Those are the high-end electric dirt bikes. Man. I've seen them going for like $5,000.
yeah, they're actually that's cheaper than what I'm talking about.
Right. I'm glad I found mine. For
One of them was 20,000, and the other one was like 15. And then
Yeah.
they got slower from there, but they weren't really super cheap. None of them, even the ones that were 30, 35 mile an hour bikes.
Right.
Like, I wasn't looking for a motor transport. I was looking for something to back up in case I couldn't make it up a hill or something.
Oh yeah, that's what the pedal assist is for.
Right.
With the pedal assist, you pedal and stuff.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's pedal assist. There's a few of them that I was looking at that have, even the one that you got says it's 7-speed.
It's got 7 speeds on the gear shifter,
Right.
but on the main brain, it's got 5 different passes. So
Well,
we'll have to look into it.
really what I was looking for was something that I could pedal for the most part, but if I got into a space where I needed it,
Yeah.
then I had the pedal assist. Or
Well, see, if you
not
put
pedal
it
assist,
on,
engine assist. Motor assist. The other way around. Not pedal assist, the other way around.
right. If you put it on like a 2, you'll still be pedaling. I mean, you can keep a good steady cadence on it.
Well, the one that did 69 miles an hour allowed you to pedal along with it. Can you imagine trying to pedal at 69 miles an hour?
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine trying that. I'd get about like 10 pumps in at that speed and fall
Right.
right on my ass.
If my e-bike's gonna go 65 miles an hour, that thing better be beefy as fuck.
Well, I guess also there's regulations per state on how fast they can go.
Yeah.
So some of them can get faster. Like, I think even yours can go faster. But
Yeah, I just gotta unlock it.
no, they have to. There's a. What you're doing is you got to pay for the next size motor or some shit to be put in or whatever. But it all depends on whether or not your state allows it.
Right.
Which
Oh, I can take off the inhibitor. I mean, there's a code for that. I can get that off YouTube. I've seen it.
yeah, that's not the same thing though, because what they're talking about is the motor that you have is only a certain capacity. No matter how much you get, you're only going to be able to make a certain capacity. But
No.
you can upsize the capacity. And of course it costs more. But like I was saying, I wasn't looking to get an e-bike that's doing 60 miles an hour because it was an e-bike that did 60 miles an hour. But I was thinking that if I could get something that goes a faster speed, then I wouldn't have to worry about how to store the bike to get it to the bike path with Eli. Amanda could take hers and Eli's bikes along, and I could just meet them there, you know.
Right.
This is, a few miles away, so it's not just like an easy truck if I just want to try to pedal and get there.
Right. True.
But like the other ones I was looking at is much cheaper and it doesn't go very fast at all. Like it could probably work for what I need because it only does like 15 miles an hour or something like that, but that's all I'd need to help me up a slope or whatever.
Right.
But it was no. What made me look at it was it had the ability to fold down, so it didn't have to go on the bike rack. So again, they could take the bike rack and not have to worry about the bike rack for me.
Right.
Hold on.
All right.
So did she sprain her wrist, or what happened? Out of all the fact that you
She sprained it.
okay. I think you probably said that, but there was so much going on here that I couldn't pick it up. My wife was talking to somebody on the phone in the background. Makes it kind of hard to hear what's going on. But she's okay.
Well, that's all.
A little sore.
Perfect.
I think when you told me that she punched herself, you didn't tell me that she broke her nose.
Oh yeah, she broke it.
That's some punch you got.
Right? So, imagine if she was mad.
Imagine if she wasn't punching herself.
She heard that.
Oh.
Doesn't take that many pounds of pressure to break a nose, though.
Nah.
It doesn't take that many pounds of pressure to break a bone.
Well, like most bones are like 70 pounds.
8 pounds of pressure per square inch.
Whoa.
But nunchucks generate 90. I'm lucky to come out without a skull fracture.
You ain't just trying to break them. You trying to fucking motherfucker up.
That would have been an interesting conversation. So, how did you lose your husband? Nunchucks.
Yeah, well, no, this was even before this was long before I met Amanda.
Oh.
I was like 18 at the time.
You mean you found someone to date you after playing with nunchucks?
I'm much better now.
Right.
I'm much better now. I'm much calmer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And my wife hears stories about me once in a while, and she's always, "You did?" Like, yeah. I'm much better now.
How long have you been married? I'm sure you've heard.
Rhonda and I have been together for long enough that She was there for most of the speaking time.
All right.
Yeah, we've been together for 27 years. But this was before I even left Michigan, so
Right.
actually, Joe, it was before I came down to see you with Tony.
All right.
That's how long ago it was, you know.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a long, long time ago. I learned my lesson, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm the only one that was around 18 years old that had to fuck themselves up to learn a lesson, but learned the lesson.
As long as you learn something.
I learned a few things.
Oh, that's good.
That time period, I started learning who my real friends were, too.
Mm-hmm.
And now for more paper towel. I'm much happier with the look of this helmet now. I think it needed some on the back end to look like it was going around the back of his head.
Okay.
I put that in last time.
Oh, you want another one?
What's that?
Oh, I'm giving the dog.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be giving it.
Yeah.
This is why she's up.
Yep.
There you go. Okay.
Alright. Speaking of dogs, I'm gonna go take mine out before she starts whining because it's about that time.
She's gonna whine anyway.
What's that?
She's gonna whine anyway.
You know, it'll just prolong it a little longer. I'll be back.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't meet my wife until I moved to Maine the second time.
Oh. Hold on a second.
Sorry, Dad, it's raining. And she was actually, when I met her, she was with one of my best friends.
Hmm. Rhonda and I started dating when I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah, you said that when you were talking about your anniversary,
Yeah, and then,
and that's great. You know, that's great.
well, she wanted, I mean, we had known that her brother is my age, and we were friends. But when I was in 8th grade, I spent the night over at a friend's house, and that friend had an older sister, and so Rhonda was staying over there at the same time, and apparently she stalked me. You wouldn't date me while I was an 8th grader, but she stalked me until I got to the high school.
Is she older than you, or she
Oh,
just wanted to date an older guy?
She's older than me. She was a junior when I was a freshman. So she didn't want to be one of those high school people that dates middle school people.
Yeah, I'm the only one in our relationship. So far. Have you lived where you are all your life?
No, we like I grew up in Indiana. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but I've been a couple different places in the state, and then we also for 2 years lived in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was before I wanted children, though. Once I decided children were on the table, like that's something that we should look into. We knew pretty fast that we're not going to raise them in Las Vegas.
Right.
So, not that there's anything wrong with Las Vegas. I love that city, but I don't think it's the best place to raise children, especially when none of our family lived west of the Mississippi. So just a lot easier to move back to Indiana.
Yeah, we stayed pretty much in Maine because, well, first of all, she grew up in Maine. Everything she really loves is in Maine. I took her to Florida for a little while, but I think she felt like she was crawling out of her own skin. We were all right in North Carolina for a little while. She was philosophy, but she was working for Walmart. So for me, that wasn't as good of an experience. I mean, there was some good things about it. Don't get me wrong, but when we moved south, I wanted to go to Tennessee because I had lived in Nashville for a year, and I was like, I really liked living in Nashville. Even when the people were assholes, they were really super polite assholes. So, I mean, there was that. There was, no state taxes. Pretty much like you pay state taxes on everything. You tax clothes. Tax clothes and milk and stuff that we would never pay taxes for. Where, I don't know how that is in Indiana, but like in Michigan they do. In Maine they don't.
We don't tax food. Well, take that back. We don't tax most food. Certain
Fast
food,
food, right?
like well, if it's like,
Fast
I know
food,
what I mean.
convenience store.
but that's a slightly different tax. But I mean, like, but like milk, eggs, that kind of thing, you don't pay tax.
Right. Yeah, so in Tennessee, you'd be paying taxes on your milk and you pay taxes on clothes. In Michigan, we didn't pay taxes on clothes, but, you paid state taxes.
Yeah. There's a 7% sales tax on pretty much everything.
I think it was 5 in Michigan when I left, but I left a long time ago.
Yeah, it was 5 cents for most, for a good portion of my life here. Then I raised it.
It's kind of strange that where you're living, because the only people that I had known in my, I would say young adolescenthood, older childhood, but more young adolescenthood, that were from Indiana were from there. And I didn't think that was that big of a place. So.
It's not. In fact, I grew up in northern Indiana.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up around Syracuse, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
And I went to Ball State. So that's in Muncie, about middle of the state. My first year teaching was the south end of the state. And through all of that, I had never gone to Marion until I had a job interview. It's never a reason to go to Marion. And now we've been here for 15 years, and the town's been good to me. when people complain about it, I'm like, well, okay, that sounds been good to me. So,
Well, those people that complain about it probably been there all their lives or something.
well,
And they want to get out of there because they've been there all their lives. There's
Well,
nothing to compare it to. Huh?
I completely understand. Like in high school, I remember they made us, do those stupid things where you're thinking about your future and all that crap. And I kind of took some of that to heart when they were talking about write down all the place, like where you think you want, like what you want out of the place where you live. Las Vegas was about perfect at the time for a teenager. It had everything that I possibly. Like, I wanted it warm because I didn't want to deal with any more snow. I wanted to have ample things to go out and do. Just I didn't want to worry about any kind of weird attacks or terrorism or anything. I didn't think Vegas was going to hit anything.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Again, stuff's going on here, so I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Uh-oh.
Worried about being sorry. I just couldn't hear what he was saying. That's all.
There.
Now I can hear you.
Yeah.
I think.
Or can you hear me?
Did you say something about terrorism?
Well, I just didn't think.
I only caught part of what you were
I
saying.
was
So.
thinking, why did I show up and you start talking about terrorism?
I just knew that I wanted a place that you could go and they'd speak English, so that narrows down where in the world you could go. And I didn't want to deal with a whole bunch of terrorism, which that kind of narrows down where you're going to be.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought about all those things. And again, if I didn't have children, I'd still be in Vegas. But when
I don't think I ever thought about those things when I was choosing a place to live.
oh well, I'm weird.
That's probably a lot wiser than the way I was choosing. I was like, heads I go to Maine, tails I go to California.
You said good.
Well, I'm kind of lucky because my father was a teacher before I was born, and he taught in New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like I had, my mother's side especially had family up in New England. The kind that speak French. That's where I had Moxie, was at a great uncle's house. I was little enough. I was at that age where, any pop is good. Flat pop didn't matter. It was pop, right? And my father was like, here, you can have a whole bottle, all to yourself. First time I'd ever been given a full bottle of pop, all to myself. He's like, well, you gotta drink it. I'm like, well, heck yeah. And I started chugging that, and yeah, right when you start to swallow is when it hits. And this is wrong. So,
Well, I told him that you drank it when you were ill. He asked me if I liked it, and I'm like, no.
every year with my AP classes, for those who don't drop it at semester, I give them a shot of Moxie. I figure, as a toast, like, you got Moxie, here you go. And I warn them ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because they've never had it, and I don't want to trick anyone. I'm like, this is gross. I'm just letting you know ahead of time.
Well, it kind of tastes like Southern Comfort, except for without the alcohol content.
It tastes like Diet Coke and Vicks Vapor Rub had a baby.
Yep, that's the same thing. Or Uzo.
Oh,
Yep. Tastes a lot like black licorice.
ugh.
Yum.
I am not a black licorice fan, so.
I like it.
But oddly, I really do like Southern Comfort when I was. That was candy for me. That was trouble.
Mm.
Southern Comfort often brought oblivion.
I have never been a big drinker, ever.
Nope.
Well,
Me
I'm
either.
not really a big drinker. I've never really been a big drinker. Like I had a 1 month period that I was a big drinker. And that was when I first was introduced to Sammy Hagar's tequila.
Uh,
But honestly, like I drank 3.5 fifths in that month to myself. Never stopped me from getting the kids up for school. Never stopped me from getting to work on time. Never had a hangover or any of that shit. Now at the end of that month, I did something really stupid and drank that Uzo. After a 6-pack of Heineken, I drank that Uzo Mood, a whole mixture of stuff, because a friend of mine came over. And next thing I know, I'm bouncing my head off the bottom, the rail on the bottom step, and Amanda's trying to bring me around, and she was at work when I started.
Damn.
Oh yeah, it was pretty bad. The only real bad drunk I had was that, and on my 21st birthday, same thing. It was just mixing a bunch of alcohol. But that was the only time I blacked out in my life, like really blacked out.
Mm.
I have no memory. Like I put my head and my hands and my elbow on the stool in front of me in a chair, and then I felt like I just picked it back up again. But in the time that I had done that, I had fought with my mother, fought with my neighbor, like wow. I thought when people were telling me about it that they were just fucking with me. But no, that was the truth. It was bad.
Mm.
last time I got really drunk was in Las Vegas, and we're talking like almost 20 years ago. And the apartment we had was, you had to go across the catwalk to get to it. You had to go up these stairs on the outside and cross the catwalk, which, you know, even when you're sober would kind of wiggle a little bit.
Right.
And then trying to do that just hammered. I'm just going up the stairs, and they're open stairs, like, you know, like they're just the platforms so that you can see through them and everything.
Yeah.
Oh man, my wife's like, I'm not carrying you. I'm like, that's fine. Oh, just every 3 steps, the world just would not sit still.
Damn.
I scared my kids when I was puking. I puked like a dinosaur, so. I don't like puking. I don't like passing out. I don't like blacking out.
Yeah.
I don't like the world spinning on me. So that's why I really don't drink. Like before I had the issues I'm dealing with now, I had a 3-drink limit. When it started tasting like I wanted more, I knew I was done. That was kind of my rule. Like if it tastes like I want more, yeah, that's the time to back off for a bit.
You know how casinos are made so that they're hard to leave?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're drunk and trying to leave, like,
I
too
get
many
it.
chairs. Like, oh, I guess I'll just stay.
Right. Yeah. You're so good. How was your Father's Day? Is it good? You too, Brett. How was yours?
No, I watched John Wick.
Didn't really do much. My family let me work.
Yeah, we didn't really do much either. We went and had Chinese and
I went to work.
watched John Wick.
Yeah, I hung out with Aaliyah before I went to work, so that was pretty cool, man.
The stage of not quite dry. I should leave alone. Maybe I could come over here and mess with stuff I could probably leave alone. So you've been writing by walking around dictating?
It's been too cold. Like I could have done it today, except I had to go to work. So just work is terrible.
I've been kind of like I've been using the 360, but on my phone.
Yeah.
I've been discovering, like especially like Sunday, that a lot of words that I typed in did whatever the frick they wanted because I swiped the text.
Yeah.
And so I'm like a paragraph beyond what I typed, and I don't realize what it actually typed. And then Sunday, like you guys were pointing stuff out. One of them was like a double word because I typed it and it didn't take, and I typed it again, so it said double. And then a couple other ones, they either didn't put the word in, or like if I it's really weird. Like I tried to hit, basically enter that's on your phone, which is like an arrow to the next line. And it backspaced over what I wrote, so I had to go back in and rewrite it. So you never know what the hell it's going to do. I was really kind of surprised with how bad that screwed stuff up.
Well, it definitely changes things. I mean, it's hard for me to get into the same flow. Just having to say it out loud, it's kind of weird. Now, again, that book, you read the Martin Shoemaker and Kevin J. Anderson on David Dick, right? And I completely agree. It makes more logical sense that, when you talk, there's one less filter, and when you write, you have, a couple more filters that you're adding on top of your thoughts. So I'm enjoying the walking when it's not been freezing, but
You see, I know what the theory is that stories were spoken before they were written, but for me, if I write them, I can look at them and see if I want to change something. Or I can see the sentence as I'm putting it down and see if I want to change it. Maybe it's because my whole life has been sketching and going from loose to tight and all that. But well, and I don't really like listening to the sound of my own voice playback. But I feel like I'm actually writing when I'm actually typing.
Yeah.
I don't know really how to explain it, but I'll see something, I'll write something down, and then back up over it. And I've done that. You've seen some of that too. Like I'll back up to change a word and then not change the tense of the next word or the whether or not it's got an ing or just
Right.
like hard end. But I haven't been able to do that with the talking. I tried. Kevin J. Anderson sent me one of Rebecca's voice recorders, like mini tape recorders.
Yeah.
And I kept it in my truck for a long time, and riding back and forth to work, I would, kind of record a little bit here and there, but it never felt right, like talking the story the same way as writing the story. And sometimes I wouldn't, it wouldn't give me other ideas. Like I'll be writing and then I'll get other ideas from what I'm writing. I don't know. It's. I guess everybody has their own process, and it's that process that works or not. And I think you should try as many processes as you can,
Yeah.
just to see. Like you might find something that works better for you. I read Prayer for Owen Meany. Well, listen to it, but at the end, John Irving. It was an interview with John Irving, and I found it interesting that he writes the last page first, and he doesn't like write the last page first and then start at the beginning. He writes backwards. So he figures out whatever he's going to write, and then he writes backwards. He'll write the last chapter. Then he writes the chapter before and the chapter before. And I thought that was interesting. That's something I've never tried, but like that's not the way I formulate a story.
No.
But I'm trying to change and experiment a little bit because I used to just pants everything. And then it was really hard to finish anything when I was pantsing everything. So now that I've taken all these different writing courses and whatnot, I've come to a place where I formulate it by question. What's the character's goal? Does he get that goal? We've talked about this before. And then what's the hardest thing that he has to give up or sacrifice or whatever to get it, or he or she.
Right.
And I find that works for me because I definitely have an ending. I definitely have a framework to hang a story on. But now I'm thinking about like trying it, like doing my way and then writing it the other way. So coming up with the story with my question method and then a brief synopsis and then writing it backwards. Like I think maybe that might work for me. The snowflake method never gelled in my head. So it was never like, oh, I think I can start in the middle and just kind of write around the subject.
Yeah.
It just never appealed to me. But more and more thinking about the end and what the payoff's going to be, kind of interesting to see where it can go. Do I dare to drawing on? What the hell, Mikey? Okay, mixing another color.
Excuse me.
I can shrink my helmet reference and actually look at you guys more. Well, look at the painting on there more. Nobody's telling me when I'm working off screen, so I'm just guessing. Have you been trying different methods too, or just the? Or when I should rephrase that to when you're dictating, are you dictating chapter by chapter with an outline, just dictating seat of the pants?
I have found so far that I can't start from scratch. It bothers me to start. Like I'll start a little bit on my computer and then I'll go. If I try to start from scratch, it's basically just all notes, which has helped. Because even if I can't come up with the prose, I have found that I can go through and at least prepare to do the prose when I get back to my computer. So a lot of times it's like I go out, get maybe 500 to 1,000 words, and that's normally a pretty good walk. But there have been times where I just thought through a story, I guess. The novel that you guys started reading definitely had, like, there's a bunch of notes that you guys will never see. And some of them are just wrong, but they help me think about who the characters should be and that kind of stuff. And knowing that has helped write everything else a lot faster. So it's, I don't know. I mean, I don't, starting from the end, I mean, I kind of know where this thing's going. To some extent. But I don't know. We'll see where the novel gets. The short stories, that's the thing I'm worried about. Writers of the Future, whatever quarter this is up on 6:30, and I've got nothing finished. There was that gunslinger thing. You guys read some of that. It was short.
Right.
You know, the one where the guy gets arrested. Anyway, I just don't think that's a good fit for that contest.
And you know, that's my problem with that contest is that it shouldn't be a fit. You know what I mean? It should be just bare minimum of restraint. You know, you shouldn't have to worry about whether or not that story will be interesting to the judges, because everything that's speculative without being horror should be able to fit into that content.
Well, I had a feeling that was going to kind of bleed into the horror, speculative horror, Western Weird West thing.
Well,
So
the Weird West thing should be all right, you know?
Well, yeah, but it's the horror part that I thought might not be the right fit. That's all. So I have an idea for a short story. I just haven't figured out how to make it work yet. So I'm hoping within 10 days of not having to go to work. You'd think I could finish something.
10 days is hard. That Murder Bugs one that I did, most of that I wrote it in, 10 days actually. I wrote it in 10 days, but I did the majority of it and planned it out in 3 because it was like a 3-day deadline. I didn't know it at first when I started writing it. I didn't even know where it was, where the anthology was out of. You know what I mean? I found out, was either you or Jake found it for me, but I only found out about it at all by someone else that I knew that was a writer that was asking me to look into it or look into theirs. And it just gave me an idea, like reading through theirs gave me an idea. That wasn't their idea, but an idea.
Hmm.
Fan brushes are so funky. I'm thinking maybe this fan brush was a little bit big for the job. Maybe dry brushing will get me to fix it more better.
Bing. Yeah.
Not gonna have a better effect that way, huh?
Maybe.
Maybe aquarium though.
Bam.
Need to find some ruin brushes.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm getting hungry. I'll be right back, man. I'm gonna go warm up for pizza. I'm starving. I shall return.
Anything interesting going on?
Nope.
Short and succinct.
There, sit down. Sit down, bro. Yeah, that's not. There you go. Begging. Oh. Bigger than me. All right. Starting me.
Well, I tell you, working with acrylics will teach you patience.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Depends on how bad you need to learn patience. I'd say it's a good thing, even though it may not feel like a good thing at first.
Right. The outcomes are the constant. Yeah. I said, the outcome through your patience is all that counts. What do you think? There you go, bud. Yeah.
Brett, have you seen 65?
No, I know what it is, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd know what it was. That's why I asked. That was on the table besides John Wick about what I was going to rent. They're both the same price, so I would have rented Sisu, but it's freaking $20 to rent Sisu. And that's as much to outright buy John Wick or 65. I'm kind of curious to see what they did different with 65 besides add dinosaurs, because it's like basically it's the plot of Planet of the Apes except for without the apes. They're showing a deep space mission and crash land on prehistoric Earth. wonder what the art can really be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like Planet of the Apes meets Jurassic Park so far, but they obviously can't get home because they're 65 million years in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Well, have you ever heard of the Turkey City Lexicon?
Yeah.
Can't say I have.
So, one of the things that, I mean, this thing's old.
Yeah, it's basically a rundown of all the kind of tropes and stories.
Well, the bad ones at least, the ones they
Well,
really don't want to see.
just kind of giving him an idea, like loose, because I don't even know if he knows what a trope is. You know,
But the first one under Common Workshop story types, the Adam and Eve story, nauseatingly common subset, the Shaggy God story, in which a terrible apocalypse, spaceship crash, etc., leaves two survivors, man and woman, who turn out to be Adam and Eve, parents of the human race. And as soon as I saw the ad
yeah,
for
the new Adam and Eve.
I was like, this is straight out of the Turkey City Lexicon. I mean, it just, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't really get that it's supposed to be Adam and Eve because it's Adam Driver and a little girl.
Well, I get that, except for
So I mean, I guess that could be, but that's a mighty nasty, mighty nasty game plan for the writers.
I don't know. I didn't really have a big desire to see it.
I'm kind of interested, like, and that's really weird because normally I'd be right where your position is, and like, nah, I've seen so many of them. But the fact that I have seen so many of them kind of makes me wonder if they do something different. I mean, there is the dinosaurs, and that's different, but I don't know.
Let me see something. I'm going to see if I have access to it. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah, I've got availability of it on Amazon Prime, so
Oh, okay. Yeah, but don't you?
that like if you have Amazon Prime and you look at the new releases that are just released to home,
Yeah.
it's that John Wick 4 and Sisu. Then there's other ones too, but those are the first three that I could see. But that might be like by algorithm because of what I'd be searching for. Yeah, so I don't really like her hair, so I'm probably gonna go back over it again. Then just cover it up again. Maybe with a glaze. I gotta find a smaller brush that I can.
Oh my God. Listen to this review of 65. Okay? This is from the LA Times. Think Gilligan's Island. Not because it's like 65, but just because it's more entertaining than 65.
Oh, wow.
Well,
65.
it's the LA Times that you're talking about too, so
Okay, so this is from the Daily Beast.
that's a qualification in its own right.
65 is set millions of years in the prehistoric past, and its ideas are only slightly younger.
Mm. Mm.
Oh,
Oh.
You know what? I really love the movie Hawk the Slayer, and people talk shit about that too.
I'm just, some of these are just funny.
That's not to say that I'm going to like it any more than John Wick or any of the other ones that I watched, but
Oh,
Mm.
maybe I should just pay the money and watch these two.
well, it's just, you need to find somebody that's got a flex. That's what you need, flex.
Yeah.
But my brother-in-law has a server, and yeah, like 65 is on that server, so I can watch it for free. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of times I can just say, hey, can you find? And normally it shows up. And then I can watch
You know,
it.
$5 is 2 sodas.
Yeah, that's
So-
pretty good. I mean,
Like that's not a
Where's the
whole lot of
movie
money to spend to see if I like something or not. I've actually bought 3 or 4 books in a series of books and then not like the first one, you know?
yeah.
Man.
Mm.
I'm not recommending it, but you know. I guess what I'm saying is that $5 in the long run, especially nowadays, well, $6, ain't really all that much. You figure out whether you like something or not.
Right.
I guarantee, like I've seen a lot of reviews that have been super good for crap movies, and I've seen a lot of reviews that have been crappy for movies that I really enjoyed. I cannot stand either The Green Knight or The Northman.
Mm.
Both of them are crap to me. Like Robert Eggers has burned himself with me. I don't even want to watch a Robert Eggers movie. It's like the second or third one in a row that I've watched that I was totally disappointed in.
Mm.
And that's because The Northman is supposed to be the story of Hamlet, the real story of Hamlet. And it just, I don't know, it's very slow moving. Have you seen it? Anyone of you guys seen that, The Northman?
No.
Nope.
They advertised it like they were showing, not Bill Skarsgård, the other Skarsgård, the one that played Tarzan.
Mm-hmm.
They advertised it like he was a Viking warrior and all this other stuff when he was
Yeah, I've seen the advertisement.
Edmund, which is the Wolf Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed this scene where they were attacking the city and he's wearing the wolf head and someone throws a spear and he catches it and throws it back. And yeah, that's the only fucking scene that's like that in the entire movie. The rest of it, basically, it's instead of a king that he's going to kill, it's basically a guy who owns a homestead and some slaves and people that work for him. It's like basically a farmer, and his father is killed in the beginning by his uncle, which is obviously the story of Hamlet. But he swears revenge, and then he forgets himself when he becomes, this Viking warrior. And then he makes himself a slave to get sold to him, falls for this chick along the way, which is not either the true story or the story of Hamlet,
Right.
And then the rest of the movie, for the most part, he's been being a slave and subservient and sticking around and bowing and kowtowing and all this other stuff. And his revenge is just weak. It's like all this for this weakness. There's no actors. There's no. I don't know. He didn't give the excitement that he offered, that he promised. Did you watch The Witch?
No.
You're smarter than I am. That's the second of the Robert Eggers movies that I thought was going to be good, and that was slow all the way through. Matter of fact, the guy that played the dad in The Witch, it's this family that ends up moving out in the middle of the woods by themselves and finding out that there's a witch out there.
Mm.
But the dad is the same guy that plays Hamlet's uncle. And the girl that Hamlet falls for is the same girl that plays the witch, even though I'm giving the secret of the plot away. But it's just so long. Have you seen The Green Knight?
No.
Red, have you seen The Green Knight?
Nope.
Man, you guys are smarter than me. All of them I thought were going to be better movies by the ads.
Right.
I'm going to end this broadcast because I'm pretty much done with what I can do until it dries anyway, and
Good
it's
timing.
been 2 hours. And we can talk for a minute after. So,
Mhm.
My
anyone
wife's
that
going
watched,
bad. Yeah.
thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you like it. God bless. We love you all. Good night.
Love, peace, chicken, God bless.
Later.
Later, man.